And this is our daily 12 o'clock onboarding or co-working call where we answer support questions, give advice, and welcome new users. Today we get to welcome one of our first timers, first time here on this call, but she was one of the first people that trusted us with the lifetime account when we switched to SpeakerHub, Vivian. And Vivian's a DEI expert out of Europe. So we tell people all the time that over 60% of our clients are outside of the US. And every day, 3 or 4 of them will pop in with our US counterparts because of the timing, because of the timing of the schedule. So good to see Vivian, and welcome any of your questions, comments, concerns, anything we can do to improve your experience with SpeakerHub. We're here. John, good to see you. Bart, you don't have on red today, man. What happened? We were expecting Bart in all red everything. Chantel, good to see you. Kevin, good to see you.
Let him have a day.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Cool. So any questions or comments to start off with?
Yeah, I had to leave early yesterday, but just wondered if remember the issue we had a few days ago? I know it's being reviewed, but we're straight now.
No, it's resolved. That was resolved yesterday.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, it's live. So when Heather goes in to pitch, it's going to say your name instead of Heather's name when it goes out. So, yep, that's live. And John?
Okay, hey everybody, I'm John. Yeah, thanks. Ron, I got 3 quick questions. I'm working on my profile. I'm a new member. Signed up silver yesterday. So as I'm building my profile, I have a section that says workshop agenda. Well, I need to start from the top. Presentations. Then there's another one that says workshop agenda. Are those supposed to be related? Like the second is more detailed, or are those intended to be 2 separate things?
No, they're 2 separate things. So you can do presentations and you can do workshops, right? They're 2 separate things. Your presentation may be your speech. And then if you have a workshop, if you want to show how, if you did a 3-day workshop for a company, what you would cover over those 3 days, or if you did a 1-week workshop, what you would cover in those 5 days, or a 1-day workshop, what you would cover in the 8 hours that they hired you, that's what you would just be demonstrating there, showing how that works.
Okay, so anything like 1 hour is considered a presentation, correct?
Yep.
Cool. All right, and this will be quick. Both these questions are related. Actually, one question. I'm going to teach stress management. That's what I do in large part. Help people lower stress using a cognitive and somatic, actually it's a somatic technique, tapping on acupressure points, okay, traditional Chinese medicine kind of thing. What I want to do, one thing I'd like to do is to offer like podcast listeners an opportunity to opt into a tapping circle, which I will run via my own Zoom account. Here's my question. Is it possible if I create that link to that tapping circle in Zoom, is there a way to place it onto my speaker page so that I can send the link to the speaker page and they can tap on Zoom?
So in your speaker page, there's a place for social media, things of that sort. There's a place for courses. I think this would be fine in that e-course section where, and because the e-course right now, it doesn't allow you to upload a course, but it allows you to link out to what you want. And John did a great job with this. John got a gold account on, I think, Tuesday. And then yesterday night, he hit me up and said, man, I got all my stuff set up. But he has courses, he has the speaker wheels. He did everything in one day. And I'll show you, you'll see it says e-course. That's why I would put a link to anything you want to invite people to inside of your speaker page.
Excellent. That's all my questions. Thank you so much.
Yep, that's cool. Any other questions, comments, concerns before we get into it? Yep.
Can I ask?
Or go ahead. Yeah.
Or was there somebody else?
No, go ahead, Vivian. You got the floor. Nice hair wrap. We got some competition, Jadika. She's coming for your crown. Jadika has 376 consecutive meetings with a different hair wrap. She's never won the same one twice.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. No, I wanted to, I know that at the moment right now in the US, the whole topic diversity, equity, and inclusion is a hot topic at the moment right now. And I'm also noticing from that aspect, I'm noticing where there used to be a push from SpeakerHub. Now I need to do more of a pull. How can I do a pull more sustainably, still reaching my audience, still reaching the event organizers without going into this whole debate of what's happening in DEI at the moment? Because mind you, 7 out of 8 companies are still keeping DEI alive instead of putting the emphasis on 1 out of 8 is walking away from that.
yep. So when you say pull and push, can you
Yeah.
clarify so that I can answer properly?
Yeah. So in the previous years, um, people reached out to me more than I had to do the work. Now I have to pull, whereas I need to work harder to reach the companies or the organization within the US, predominantly in the US.
Okay, right. Okay. So I think we just use the words backwards, right? So push is in our minds, in my mind, I should say, pull marketing is when you're attracting people inbound to your profile, and push is when you're pushing your information out,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you're talking more on the outbound side,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I know you were one of our first SpeakerHub beta users back in July. Have you been doing the outbound there at all, or no?
I have been doing the podcasting, but yeah, I've also been dealing with a recovery where I realized that I'm not using the Speaker Hub Pro to its full benefit. So that's why I'm here
Okay,
to
yeah.
see what I can do.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah. No, I just want to understand where we are before
Yeah.
I, so I can make sure I'm answering your question properly. So
Yeah.
one of the things that we, here, let me bring this up here. I want to bring up one of our frameworks that I think is really appropriate for now. Let's see. All right. Can you all see my screen here? My Canvas screen? All right.
Yes.
So for those who aren't familiar with the flywheel is what we use for everything. And the inbound, where companies are looking for you, that's that side. And then the outbound is the companies that you reach out to. And we always say that there should be a mix all the time, no matter what level of the speaker you are. You should be going on podcasts, doing local association gigs, doing conferences, and learning to write and get paid on a weekly basis from writing all the time. That's part of the thought leader business, right? But I want to skip to at what ratio. So if that's what we're building, at what ratio should we be doing this sales and marketing, right? So let me come over to our, where's my slide? I got to clean this up a bit, right? So if you're a new speaker, even if you're focusing on podcasts currently, you still should be pitching the associations, because it takes them a little longer to respond to you. Where a podcast can book you this week, an association is going to book you 30 to 60 days out. Does that make sense? So if you're an emerging speaker, this should be your focus. Vivian, I think you got our experience plan that included the conferences, right? So we know that while you're going on the podcast, you should also be reaching out to associations, not just in Europe, but around the world, because they're still having their meetings, and a lot of them are still virtual, right? So you can get a lot of different virtual gigs, especially I know you do some consulting also, right? So, that's a really big opportunity for you to get those consulting gigs and clients from those virtual gigs with the associations. But at the same time, there are the conferences. So we think that this is the daily recipe that a speaker should follow, right? Now, what do most people do? They hop in and they see the leaderboard and they say, man, that person sent 300 this week. I'm just going to send 300 podcasts really quick, right? But then they don't go and do the follow-ups, right? So then they sent out 200 podcasts. They have to take a week off to try to follow up with them, and then they forget who they need to respond to, all of those things. This is a daily thing. And let me show you how it works. These 10 people that you sent emails out to this week on Monday, you're going to follow up with them on Tuesday, right? Along with sending 10 more, right? So over a month's time, even with 200 pitches, you've made 800 to 1,000 contacts. Everyone here that did the first initial email and then did the follow-up saw at least a 50% increase in their responses just by doing one follow-up, right? So a lot of times people ask, well, why don't you give us more pitches? My response is, well, you don't really need more. You just need to follow up with the ones who didn't read the first few, right? So over time, just with this basic amount of work, here are the expectations. 48 podcasts a year, 12 association meetings, at least one a month, and one conference a quarter. This puts everybody who does this in the top 10% of speakers in the world. The average speaker is only doing 5 gigs a year. This puts this person at 16 gigs and 48 podcasts. Most speakers haven't done 48 podcasts in their life, not to mention 48 in 12 months. Does that make sense? Now, you can allocate your 200 pitches on a monthly basis however you would like. Some people will focus more on, if they already have their podcast engine kind of running, or they're using another software to get them booked on podcasts, that person can focus on associations and conferences only with us. So you can allocate your pitches however you see fit. But this is what we found to be the biggest momentum builder. And the reason being is, if we think of our top 5 speakers, the majority of them we haven't heard speak live in person. We heard them through a podcast or by getting one of their books or watching a recording of a session that they uploaded to YouTube. So in order to build that momentum and that flywheel, it's a holistic approach. Now, do some people just hire me to send pitches to conferences? Sure. I can't tell you what to do. It's your business, right? But what do the winners do? When we look at the winners, they're doing it all, right? The biggest opportunity for a speaker is probably the one that's most ignored, which is one that you've already experienced, Vivian. Kamanzi wrote the article, right? We sent the request out to several of our lifetime DEI speakers. And you happen to be the one that replied first. We are merit-based over here. You reply, we got you. If you ignore it until later that day, somebody else gonna jump in front of you, right? But we knew the topic that he was looking for, so we reached out to those DEI speakers that we had. What ended up happening is that Vivian ended up being quoted and featured in a Success Magazine article. Was it Success Magazine? Yeah, it was a Success Magazine article that was online, and it made it into the print version of that on the effects of DEI worldwide, or something like that, if I remember correctly, right? So that is the biggest opportunity that most people are missing, because we're thinking, I gotta speak. The other thing is, talking is easy, writing is hard. Most of us learned how to talk at 1, we learned how to write at 6, right? Like, we didn't start off writing, we were scribbling, but we didn't know how to really read and write until we got older. So it's still one of those things that I think is more difficult to people than public speaking. But here's the great thing about it. With the articles, you can dictate the article and use ChatGPT to edit the article. Meaning, take out your phone, click the dictate button, talk about the topics, write your outline and talk about the topic. Take that dictation and put it in. Kevin is a master of this. I watched Kevin do this on the screen the other day. And I'm like, what is he doing? And he was clicking dictate while he was talking to ChatGPT. I said, oh, that is magical. I don't even know how to do that. Right? I'm recording stuff and uploading and having it transcribed, but He figured out how to do the dictation directly from his computer. And then you just upload that into ChatGPT and tell it to edit it for you. If you try to submit a ChatGPT fully generated article that are not your ideas, not only will they ignore your pitch, they will block you from being able to ever pitch them again in the future. They don't need to pay you $3,000 to do a ChatGPT article they can do themselves. Is this making sense? So there's a huge opportunity for any speaker that's making less than $5,000 a month to just write articles and make $5,000 a month without having to leave your house or travel around the world. And you will be more respected as a thought leader by doing that. Because they said, Vivian is a contributor to Success Magazine or Business Insider or Psychology Today, whatever your topic is. So now when they go and introduce you as Jadika, Psychology Today contributor, she can now raise her fees by 20 to 30% just because she's already been vetted by that credible source. Is this making sense? Right? So don't ignore the parts of the flywheel. You should be doing them all. Now, here's a bonus that we gave to everybody that we don't even talk about because we know that your focus is, most people's focus is about speaking. We don't even mention, even though we give everybody access to the media, we don't even advertise it. You just get it as a bonus. So even if you're on the emerging plan, you still got media over on the left, even though we don't even mention that we give it to you, right? And we don't mention it in the pitch plan. But here's all you got to do. This is the plan. Add a couple pitches down at the bottom to get those articles. Now, what's the great thing about having an article? And let me show you the person that teaches this for us. Kamanzi owns PR Pitches. We're partners in that business. We own 50-50. Well, why did I do that with Kamanzi? Again, we show our work here at SpeakerHub and at our companies. So let me pull this up here if my mouse will work. Right? Why did we pick Kamanzi why did I pick him as my business partner? He didn't choose me, I chose him. I went and got him to run this part of my business. He writes for Success, Men's Journal, CNET. These are all the articles he's done in the last 2 months. Parents Magazine, Business Insider, AOL, MSN. He's everywhere. He interviewed LeBron James for the Netflix series. All of those guys in the NBA Dad series. LeBron, he did the live interviews with all of them. So we got the best person in the world teaching you this stuff. Right? He writes for 90 publications. Right? So that's who you'll be learning from. Every Friday, if you're a lifetime member, join the PR Pitches group. Ange will give you access. Every Friday, he brings in an editor from a major publication to confirm your suspicions. Man, I don't know if they're going to pick me. He brings somebody on there and say, they'll pick you. Well, I don't know. I ain't good enough. He brings somebody in and says, they'll hire you. That's the difference between us and everybody else. This ain't theory over here, right? We're going to give you the recipes. Is that fair, guys? Was that helpful, Vivian? So are you in the PR Pitches group?
I don't know where the group is supposed to
Angela,
be.
can you get her in the group? So yeah, I mean, Kamanzi has a lot of great feedback from those who are in the group and for those that are in the group. He's like, dude, your SpeakerHub people come in and they always on it. The people that you let in, they pitch it. And I'm like, yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. He's like, well, it's kind of hard to get people to send those pitches the first time. So him and I talk about this on a daily basis, right? But Jasmine, what's your question? We got Jasmine in the middle of eating over there. Oh, you're muted. We can't hear you.
I went to the PR Pitches training last week and I loved it. Considering when I was in high school, I thought for 1000% I would have been a journalist. but I'm too vibrant and out there, whatever, but love it. Love reading, love writing, still write a lot on my own. So I went last week and I loved it. So I'm going again. I just want to know the formulation. What is the real thing to do when you go on the meeting? It's just a training, or do you set up a meeting with him after? But you know, I just listened, and the lady last week was fantastic.
Yeah. So the purpose of those trainings is just like this, right? Now, Kamanzi's a bit more strict with his time than I am in some ways, where
Yeah.
I'm willing to come on to talk because you're not asking me to write your speech.
Yeah.
He don't like to have meetings with people because everybody asks him to write his pitch. He's like, I'm not your press agent. I'm not going to write your article for you. Watch the calls, watch the videos, do the work. We will do article review. So in PR pitches, they do article review, but they will not write your article. They're not going to tell you how to do the outline. Watch the videos. So there's a whole training session that you get in that PR pitches group. Let me bring it up here. PR pitches, member group. You saw there was the post that just popped up. We're creating a large publication pitches for articles. It's one space after the period. It's not two spaces. That's old typing. You remember in the past when you took typing class, two space.
Right, you have a video pulled up.
You can't see it?
No, you have something else pulled up on your Facebook.
No, I'm on Kamanzi.
Okay.
Y'all don't see this?
No, I see
On
it.
the right side, we see
The bottom
on
right.
the right side. Yeah.
I don't know what she's talking about. I don't even, that's somebody sent me this. I send you stuff on Facebook. I can't control that. If somebody offended, oh well. But I can't control what people send me. But this stuff, can y'all see the main thing? Keep the main thing the main thing. And Raymar, go block that out. Whatever that was, just block it out because I don't even know what they was talking about. But when you see this here, when creating large publications, right? One space after the period, but he's giving you different things. Hey, the Friday training, we have a regular Friday training coming up tomorrow. In this session, we'll teach you how to get featured in the media in 2025, right? But every day, there's something. This person right here just got booked. We take the rate of $350 for 800 words. You get it to us by February 11th, right? I mean, this is all that we do. Here's a new application to write for this group. And it's every day. We're just showing you different success. We show our work. Really, really, really important. The real magazines, not these fake PDF magazines. I know people gonna get mad when I say that, but these are, you can go in the airport and see yourself, okay? You know, these are the real, these are our real clients here. So that's an easy income source, guys, while you're waiting to get on stage. Extra $2,000 a month to write 2 articles, give it to me.
I agree. I totally agree. And because it's something that I also enjoy doing. So I'm going to be at the training. You know, I'm consistent with wherever I lock my mind into. I lock into this. I'm here consistently. I want to lock into the PR pitches consistently. I'm consistent with my pitches. So if you can't see my board over there.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
On my board over there, which you can't see, in big letters, it says persistence. I look at it every day. So I agree with you. It's amazing. This, you know, it's added features. Why not?
Yep. So let me make this very clear so people know, because I don't want none of our little free people to go over there because you ain't gonna get in. We verify if you are a paid member of SpeakerHub before we let you in over another group. So because we have to protect those opportunities, right? So that's one of the biggest secrets. Again, your message is important. How you deliver it isn't important to me. Let me say that again. Your message is important. How you deliver it isn't important. I don't care whether you got to deliver it over a podcast, through writing an article, through doing a small group, through getting on a TED Talk. I just need you to get your message out there. The speaker is more concerned with the modality of the message. I don't care about that. I want you to get it out there as much as you can because people learn in different ways. We had the young lady that came on yesterday talking about her book, and she said there's red brain people, blue brain people, green brain people, and yellow brain people. And it talked about the different ways that people learn. Right? So we're even adopting this at SpeakerHub. I do these live calls. We chop them up into small little videos and put them in the group. Andrea turns this into a blog post on the SpeakerHub blog. Because some people want to read. They don't want to hear me. It's just the way it is. I can't fight it. But I got to get the message out there to those who want to do it. So we're trying to be an example of what we teach. Is this fair? Why don't I teach the writing thing? Because I don't write. Kamanzi does. You know what Kamanzi does with all the people who want to do speaking? He sends them over to Ron because he don't book people on stages. The key is stay in your lane and everybody wins. Right? That way you get the best advice from the best people. Fair? Any other questions? Salvador, good to see you. I'm trying to see if anybody else. This is our usual suspects. We only had one new person. So, Vivian, we usually let everyone introduce themselves. I kind of introduced you already, but can you introduce yourself so that people know who you are? You got 3 minutes or so to tell them what you do and how you are helping the world.
Yes, so Vivian Aqua, based in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. I operate internationally. I am a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant where I use innovative tools such as virtual reality for you to literally walk a mile in somebody else's shoes so that you are able to understand and unlock empathy, but also understand that unconscious bias, understand good intention gone bad, understand the microaggression on a different level, and expand your lenses as well. I am neurodivergent, so I am dyslexic. I have ADHD as well, and so many things. And I teach upon inclusive leadership. I teach about neurodiversity or neurodivergent. I teach about neuro-inclusive leadership as well, and so many other things. So I would say have a look on my LinkedIn profile because it has more to say. But I'm happy to be here and to learn more and to find new and different ways to unlock my potential.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, Vivian is a killer. I'm talking about you type her name in, you're gonna see 1,000 photos of her from all the podcasts and all the speeches she's done, right?
Yeah, I also have my own live stream, so maybe that's also one of the
I
reasons
mean,
why.
she's everywhere. Women
Yeah.
Talk Design, Hey Summit. You know, we got to get you on the spring Pro Speaker Summit. The Pro Speaker Summit theme is product. We're looking for speakers that have products and services. First we started with proactivity because we needed to get people pitching. Now we're moving over to the next pro in our list, which is product. We need you all with products because you're not going to survive if you're only getting paid to show up.
True.
You got to be able to sell something while you're there or get people to buy other things to sustain your business when you're not on a live stage. So our April theme for the Pro Speaker Summit is product. If you have a product or service that is selling, not one that's an idea, one that you're actually selling, I would love to talk with you about how you can come and present how you develop that product, service, and things of that. So I already know what Vivian does. That's why I could make that invite. And then we made the invite yesterday to, I think, is it Sheila? I think I messed her name up. But she sold 40,000 books. I want to know how she sold 40,000 self-published books, right? So I wanted to teach that. Any other questions for Vivian? One of the biggest questions I'll ask is, how are you making that transition? Because we get a lot of DEI speakers that come to us saying, well, what should I do? Should I go more broad? Should I take these letters out of my thing? I'm afraid nobody's hiring me. What should they do?
The thing is, I'm based in Europe, whereas in Europe, DEI is still active. It's getting more active. So that is something that that helps me get around. But I'm not gonna lie that the income from the US has definitely declined, and I am wondering why, because 7 out of the 8 companies is still doing diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I want to be able to tap into that as well.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I appreciate your candor about understanding the European market better than the US market. And this is what we're talking about. She understood her lane. Like, I'm just being real, because we miss that sometimes, where people spew out these theories and it misleads folks. I am going to fight this every day on these calls, because I'm so tired of these coaches lying to people, right? So, high five. Any questions from anyone? Or you got questions that you want to ask? We're free.
What time is that Friday meeting?
The Friday meeting,
10
join the group. I don't know.
Eastern.
I think it's at 12. Join the group. It
I
may
think
be at 12.
Is the PR Pitches group you're saying? You're speaking
Mhm.
of?
Yep.
Well, I'm in Canada. It's 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, something like that. But you got to be in the group to get in, though. So if you haven't joined the group, Kevin, he's not gonna let you on the call.
Let me in now. Let me in now.
Bill Gates, Donald Trump, let me in now, right?
everyone, if you are joining the group, I put the link in the chat. Please send me your email address. Kamanzi wants to add you to his email list so you can get the updates. And he just texted me, so it's happening real time. He just asked about a few of you.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, but we're gonna verify that you are SpeakerHub members. So I know people watch this video and replay, and you're gonna check it out in the LinkedIn group. Don't bring your butt over there if you ain't one of us. You know, I mean, I'm just saying, there's privileges. Membership has its privileges. So any other questions before I go into what I want to talk about for 5 or 10 minutes?
No question, but just to add to the group as I go along, I just, you know, you remember how you said earlier on, and I was one of those culprits. You know, I looked at the leaderboard because I'm competitive in what I do. It's my nature, you know, build fitness clubs. I want to take down the other clubs closest to me, right? So it's a nature, but in a nice way, not a mean way. So I got into, as you will see, you know, pitch. But then you get that wisdom to say, okay, Jasmine, let's look at how you can do it even more efficiently. And so I figure those many pitches, I was equating that to that many response. But when Ron had a session a few weeks back and reiterated the fact that you've got to pitch to your audience. Yes, and Angela said, you know, we want you to pitch, which I did. So it's great that you do that. But you have to have that instinct to know, okay, I'm pitching this many people. If I was pitching that many people, you know, how do you get that much response back? So I went back to what I was doing. And the first I did, I reached to Ron. Oh, I only have this many pitches left. I remember I said that, right? Panicking, oh my God, it's gone. If I did 500 in less than a month, you know, I only have 65 left. What the hell am I going to do? But what I started doing before I even came on, was to really start looking at my follow-up and adding. And a great thing happened 2 days ago, because someone who had said to me, the AI reached out, and from AI, based on AI, they said, send me your social media handles, right? And as I said to you, I'm so prone from the past of not being very popular in social media and building that. So she emailed me back. I figured New York, I can hop on a train and get over there. I can jump in my car and get to New York, and I've done it. And she said, and that's the first one that ever said that to me. I don't think, and I figured it's a sisters group. Everybody needs to be healthy, So she emailed me back and says, I don't think, based on what I see, that you're fit for us. So you know what I did? I didn't just say, okay, thank you. I sent a very detailed email thanking her for responding, and then getting to the fact that, health and wellness is so important, and it goes across all platforms, meaning the workplace, the community, individually. Myself as a certified herbalist, I'm making sure I approach health and wellness from a holistic point of view. And I gave her, remember she told me I was not a fit. But because I look at it to say, okay, something that she sees that she's not getting enough information. Because in my dealing, when someone says no, no means maybe not yet, or no mean I don't quite understand, or no mean several things, right? So I emailed her that, and very, very nice. And then I said at the end, I wish you so much success, in your sister's group. And I will be looking out for you. I'll be cheering you on and all that. Oh my God, I got the nicest email back. Oh, well, first I couldn't, but now she's going to make sure that when, so just to tell everyone right now, you've gotten these pictures that we have. I look at it as gold, right? I look at it, whether I've spent them, if I've pitched to them, they're still gold to me. If I have 100 new pitches and I have 500 past pitches, I'm counting that I still have 600 pitches because I haven't utilized and I haven't finished all those pitches as yet. So, I just my little thing, because I'm an analyzer. You can't build something from scratch and not analyze every little nook and cranny and how you can be successful at it.
Oh, no, 100%. I 100% agree with you. So I want to share something with you guys that that I think anybody here can do, right? So, oh, by the way, price increase alert. We're doubling all of the prices for if you're already in, your prices don't change, but every program with SpeakerHub, because we're getting too much demand for the conferences and things, the $249 program will be $499 tomorrow morning. The $199 program will be $299 tomorrow morning. The podcast only program will go from $49 to $97. If you're already in, your prices don't change, but we gotta increase the price because of the extra demand. So that was what the page was about. Here it is, right? It's already official. I just haven't turned it on. This is happening tomorrow on the monthly prices. So if you're in. If you're not, we'll see you on the other side. But in the meantime, we have this thing called Skill Camp. Skill Camp is where primarily I write articles and Raquel writes articles, right? So you can see we publish different articles on a regular basis for SpeakerHub. Here's an invitation. If you are a SpeakerHub member, you can submit your articles to our blog. We get 200,000 visitors a month, unique visitors. More than that, people come back and forth, but we get 200,000 unique visitors a month to our blog. So if you want some authority and credibility and practice writing and get your thoughts out, submit an article to us at support@speakerhub.com, and we will talk to you about how you can put your articles on SpeakerHub. Why? Because when you go to try to write for someplace else, they're going to want article examples. Does this make sense? They're going to want samples to show that you do know how to write. And we're looking for articles that are at least 1,000 words, right? If it has a bunch of promotion of your products and services, we don't want that. These are thought leadership articles, right? But you can still put hey, we'll still put you down here and link to you where people can find your speaker page, just like they can find Raquel's page, right? So we'll know who wrote it, but it's a thought leadership position. Does that make sense? So it's an easy way for you to get articles, get your first article posted. I had some speakers reach out to me, hey, can you do an article on me? No, but you can submit an article. They still ain't submitted one. So we ain't write no article about you. Submit your own, right? Make sense? Is this fair? Vivian, question.
I've written an article in the past for SpeakerHub platform, but I feel challenged with what do I write about, because I love writing, but what do I write about that is connected to what I do and also what SpeakerHub stands for, right? I can talk about myself as a speaker. I mean, eventually I'm done, but
So
still
here's
want
the
to
thing.
be to
Cover your topic, because we highlight those topics. Right? As long as there's nothing rude, it's in our best interest to publish that because that person's interested in that and they're going to come looking for a speaker on that topic from us.
Okay.
Cover your topic. It doesn't have to be how a speaker who's a one-person army does DEI in his own business when he's the only person. That don't make sense, right? But you could do, what are some of the DEI topics that are hot for corporate? What are some of the ways to approach that corporations can approach DEI, from a training perspective? Like there's so many things. But if you start talking racist or bigoted stuff, then we got a problem. But I don't think that that's what you do as a diversity person, right?
No.
So your topic is, we just got to get you out there, guys. Like when somebody Google you, they should find you. They should find your thought leadership articles. Are we just going to post anything you send us? No. We're going to give you some feedback. This don't make sense, or fix this part. But does wellness affect every speaker? Yes, because we sit down all day. Right? Does safety? Yes. Does massage? Yes. Does the MAP framework? Yes. All of those things. Does growing a business, whether it's construction or whatever? Yes. Right?
Any
we got
other?
a lot of teachers. Wait, hold on. Dr. Darrell, we got a lot of teachers that we're going after who are trying to make this transition from teacher to speaker. An article from you would be great. Okay, I'm just telling you. There's some opportunities, huge ones. John, what you're talking about, there's opportunities. Does that make sense? Okay. Oric, question?
Yeah, Ron. Matter of fact, actually, that was the exact question that I had. Because of course, my thing is, of course, I got a chip on my shoulder. Well, number one, hello everyone. My name is Oric Quick, motivational speaker. I was a television co-host a couple years back in 2016 on a show called The Preachers. Just recently this year, I just won the largest speaking competition in the United States, the Great American Speak Off, out of 30,000 participants. And let me tell you something. I am so glad that I ran into this guy right here, Ron, because I'm like, man, because so many people run up to you and say, hey, I can do this for you. And I'm telling you that these same individuals didn't do half of what they said. And so this organization with Ron has really opened up my eyes. I'm grateful to be a part of the group. I'm actually signing up today, before the price change, of course. That was my thing, was if I'm going to be writing the articles, because my thing is, of course, I got a chip on my shoulder, which means converting hell into profit. Can I keep that same, in a sense, title, but write about a different subject each time? In a sense, that's really my question.
So let me explain. Let me for anybody that's out there. Here's the thing. Some people will. You ever read something and you heard the person saying it, even though you had never heard them talk before, but you read it with their attitude? Like whenever my sisters text me, I just be doing this because I know that's how they be talking. When I talk to my older sisters, because they talk with their head. And I guarantee you, everybody I text, they probably see me doing this in the background because I'm always moving my hands, right? But we can imagine when we're reading things and get moved just as much, right? Anybody got Jesus's words in audiobook, or were they written? The 10 Commandments were written. Everybody who wasn't there with Moses had to read them, get the same inspiration that Moses gave to the Egyptians at that time, right? So write the words with the same power that you would have spoken them, and let the person read and put themselves in that audience. Here's one of the things that I learned. I think I mentioned this before. If you go back and you watch the Pro Speaker Summit, Les Brown talks about this. And what he says is he was on a call and his boss was there. And his boss was listening to him make a call. One of his mentors was listening to him make a phone call for a speaking gig. And after he hung up the phone, he said, man, what was that? That wasn't Les Brown on that call. And Les thinking like, yeah, that was Les Brown, the business person. He said, no, they're not hiring you. They didn't get to try out Les Brown. You had them on the call for 10 minutes and they didn't get a 10-minute experience of what they would have gotten if they would have paid you to come speak. Whether it's a telephone or a microphone, be you, be as powerful as you are. So whether it's a telephone, a microphone, a pen, a video camera, whatever you got, if you got to write it in Braille, make the bumps a little bigger. Make the bumps a little bigger in Braille when you're screaming. But you got to get your message out there, and we can't be afraid. We can't be afraid to try different mediums because you just never know who's paying attention.
Mm.
Does that make sense? Now,
Yeah.
can we promise that it's going to be the most read article? No. Can we promise it's going to be the most popular? No. But I can promise you more people will see it on our site than who will see it on your computer. If it's just on your computer and it's never published, nobody will ever see it. And that's okay if that's how you feel. But our job is to provide the platform for you all to get those messages out there. Is that fair, Oric?
Yes, absolutely.
Write the vision, make it plain so that he who reads it can run with it. It didn't say
Habakkuk
record it.
2:2.
It didn't say make a YouTube. It said write it. So start there. Write it. These are your words, right? This is the word that you believe. Write it. Right? So I want to go into Oric said something that was really cool. That is what I want to kind of cover for the day. And as we got 10 minutes, so I want to cover this. My job is to get more speakers on stages. But you can only lead in the truth that you believe. You ever talk to somebody you knew they was faking it? And they look away every time they answer a question and they have hard eye contact and they answer your question looking down. You're like, dude, you lying. Like, we are human lie detectors. We know when somebody is full of you know what, right?
Yeah.
But the problem with video is that I can re-record it. If I look away, somebody look, man, look like you. Okay, let me look at the camera real hard this time, right? And they can fake it online with all of this BS, but they can't fake the results. That's why we're always saying, ask whoever's giving you advice for the proof, because if you don't aspire to be them or be like them, don't listen to them. I had to apply that rule to my family. My family is a great middle class. My parents, my sisters, they are great middle class employees, but I didn't aspire to be that way, right? My sister, who is 9 years older than me and has known me since I was a kid, found out what I did for a living last August for the first time because I couldn't deal with the negative comments about them trying to love me, telling me this is too hard, or why don't you do this, it'll be easier. So you got to find people that are doing what you want to do. So I'm very clear, I'm not a speaker. I get speakers booked. That other person, they're a better speaker than me, but they ain't got more people booked than me. So I don't teach you all how to write speeches. I teach you how to get on the stage, right? So I want to talk about that and what that process is, because the reason why Jadika does well and Bart does well and everyone else on here, I can go around that's getting booked, Daryl and Dr. Karen, is because they weren't oversold. I didn't make any outrageous promises to Vivian when we met in July. I said, look, we got gonna get better. And she said, well, I'm in. I said, well, this ain't the old SpeakerHub that people hated and they complained about. This is a new world, and I'm willing to give you your money back if it doesn't work. So I had to kind of put up a shut up promise. that's really important because in reality, the only thing we can promise you is that if you do the work, you get the results. So I'm going to come here because Oric and I were having a conversation earlier about how do we help people to get booked. Well, what we do, we have someone on our team named Karina, and Karina works in the evenings, and all she does is Google and build lists for emails for us. So she puts in a Google search and finds conferences. And then she comes down to the bottom, she sees where it says speaker inquiries, and it brings up an email. As you can see here on my screen, it brings up an email. All she does is takes that email, looks at the person's name, tries to find Jack's full name so that we can put that in the database, right? And then she writes a description of the event, and that becomes a conference inside of our system. So what's the true value prop of what we do? We save you a lot of Googling, right? You ain't got to do all this Googling and making spreadsheets. We give you the software that already has the data in it. You ain't got to go outside of us to go to ChatGPT. We give you the ChatGPT already built in. We show you how to track all of that, but we just don't do it for conferences. We do it for podcasts, associations, and for media. And then we say, if you do the work, we almost guarantee your results. Almost is the key word, because we have data from running our own agency that says this is what you should expect, right? So how do we know how many pitches it takes to get media? Because we run a PR company. How do we know how many pitches it takes to get a podcast? Because Ange ran a podcast booking agency before she came over to us. How do we know what your website should look like? We went and got Juliana from a web design company. She worked for speakers just designing their websites. That's where she came from. She wasn't building construction websites. She was building speaker websites. This is intentional, guys. We will win with or without you. We just invite you to win with us. Does that make sense? So we ain't gonna overpromise you, but we gonna help you. That's my whole talk for today. We gonna give you the right information so that you can help yourself. It's called the IKEA effect. They did a quick study as I finish this up. They did a study where they gave a group of people a set of furniture, and they let them sit in it and use it. And they said, what would you value this furniture at? And then they took the same furniture and they put it in boxes. They didn't put it together. They had it in IKEA boxes. And they had the people put the furniture together. And then they said, what's the price of this furniture that you just put together? And the price was double. And the only difference was that they valued it more because they did the work. It does something inside of you when you know you don't have to be dependent on anyone else to get you on the stage. I ain't got to wait on Grant Cardone or what's the other dude? I can't think of his name. Pete Vargas. I ain't got to wait on Pete to book me. I ain't got to wait on them. I can book myself. Is this fair, guys? Like, I get emotional about this because ain't nobody handing out dreams, but we're saving lives with our messages. What Vivian talked about today, that 7 out of 8 companies are still keeping their DEI programs, that was news to me because all I hear is the negative stuff. DEI, Facebook laid off everybody, YouTube did this, and Google did that. We don't hear all the folks who still supporting diversity. We're a diverse race of people. With all different people around, right? And that's important to us. I joke all the time. I said, we can't turn SpeakerHub into HBCU. We need everybody. We need European people. We need South American folks. We need everybody on the call. Look at Bart over there laughing. Nothing against the HBCUs, high five, but that's not the whole mission. The mission is to amplify all positive voices around the world. and to be respectful. So, a couple takeaways for today. Number one, join the PR Pitches group if you're not already there. Number two, submit an article to SpeakerHub. We need more writers. We need to diversify our writing. The other thing is that we will give you the attribution to those articles so that they pop up, right? As we start transitioning into the new SpeakerHub, you will be introduced to something called your speaker library. Your library is where your videos will be, your courses, your speaker reels, and your articles. Right now, when you go to SpeakerHub, people got to read this whole page about you. Why can't they just enroll in your free course to see what that workshop that John was asking about is really like? If they want to try out Vivian, why can't they watch a 10-minute video and see? If they want to see if org is really as motivational as he say he is, they should be able to click the button at the end of the video. If they standing on the table, throwing their computer off their desk, it didn't work. I'm just kidding. But we got to get people hyped. That's the whole point, right? So we're going to help you with the right tools. Gustavo and our team demonstrated our new SpeakerHub this week. It is phenomenal. You will be able to sell your courses and trainings right through SpeakerHub directly to those who want to purchase from you. So imagine writing an article on healing through touch, Jadika, and then at the bottom of the article, right on the side, look, I can show you. We already tested this stuff, so I'm just going to show you.
Hey, Ram, why you?
Here's a great go ahead.
Vivian asked, is there a framework for the articles or guidelines, code of conduct for the article?
You have to ask Raquel that. Raquel has approved all the articles in the past. We don't want any self-promotion, right? So here's a great example of, imagine when you click on your thing right now, this is the only one we have, so we put it there. But if this article was written by Jadika and it was on touch or something, how to heal through massage, why wouldn't we put her course over here? Because it's relevant. It is in our best interest. Down here, you see this? They're going to make recommendations. We should recommend 3 other articles that are similar, that may advertise their thing. This is where we're going, right? Hopefully that was helpful, guys. It's 1 o'clock, so we're going to be heading into overtime for as long as y'all want, because I ain't got no meetings this evening. So any other questions, comments, or concerns? I'm willing to stay on and talk about this as long as you would like. Vivian, go ahead.
When will the updates be visible?
For the new SpeakerHub?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's building a lot of it now. We're looking at trying to get it done where people can be in February, like the end of February. If we looked at 100%, right now he's at about 40%.
So end of Q1 to keep it safe.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but we're going to bring beta folks in, right? So one of the things that anybody who's on the call now that wants to do the speaker insight is that if you could send Ange a message, I will get that set up for you guys. Actually, hop on my calendar. I know Jadika, you're on my calendar, but Ron Story Jr., can you put the calendar in the chat? Let me show you all what's going to be happening. So basically, we have a new product that is going to be included in our lead section of SpeakerHub, and it's called Speaker Insight, where basically we will give you a pixel, a custom pixel from our software that only works on your site. We will help you to install this on your website in 2 minutes. It will identify somewhere between 40 to 60% of the visitors to your site, whether they're logged in or not, and give you their LinkedIn. It only works for people that are visiting your site from the United States. It's not GDRP compliant and all of that stuff. So we can't give you the people outside of the US, but the US is flexible. We can give you anybody who visits your site from the US, their LinkedIn and everything. Now, let me show you something. Y'all want to see it? You want to, because we this is cool. 1 second. right? So I'm gonna show you what happened. Bart, you're gonna like this. Because guess who visited us? You know this person? Let's see. Bart, you still there?
Yes.
Bart, is that your Heather?
Yes.
Right? Heather visited our site. And you know what happened? Automatically, hey Heather, we're the admin of this LinkedIn group for speakers. We would love to get, we went and found her, just sent her the message automatically. The software from SpeakerHub automatically sends these messages to people, right? Stephanie, hey, Stephanie visited. Hey, Stephanie, this is automatic. She ain't a SpeakerHub customer, right? Just automatically because they visited the site. We're now reaching out to them on LinkedIn. Now, we sent them to the group first because we didn't want to do a hard sell, right? But imagine being able, Vivian sees that a DEI exec or a CEO of a company visited her site. And we put that LinkedIn inside of her SpeakerHub Pro. And now she can go and follow that person and introduce herself personally. They like, how she know we was on her page? This must be God. Perfect. Nope, it's SpeakerHub, you know. But that's what we're doing. You can see I'm showing you what we're already doing. This is a game changer for speakers because a lot of you don't have a lot of traffic to your pages. So you can't afford to lose the people that are visiting you. Go ahead, Bart.
And the same is true if they visit us on SpeakerHub as well. So if they go to our page on
Yep.
SpeakerHub, right? Okay.
Yep. So we track those already. And then we will be able to give you the people who visit your particular SpeakerHub Gold page. If you got the free page, we're going to send you an email saying, this person, look, we're going to show you who it is. And say, upgrade, and I'll send you to LinkedIn. Right? Right now, with your Gold page on SpeakerHub, you can already see who's logged in and visit you. We give you that data already, but we don't give you the people who are not logged in. Because a lot of times they just come to verify you, and then they may go somewhere else. They may not have a SpeakerHub account. Does that make sense? Any other questions? Thoughts, feedback? I mean, that's the live deal. That's cheating.
It's going to be a game changer compared to other platforms, and also making it easier for those who are doing it solo to level up in a way. So I'm really appreciative of. I'm definitely getting a lot of golden nuggets from this session already.
Yep. So let me show you guys where it's going to appear. Right. So just so that you can see how we're using it. That's the new speaker status thing, but I'm going to show you the. So basically here where it says leads, right next to our QR code presenter, there is going to be a thing that says insight, and it's INSITE, meaning in your site, right? And on the leads right now, you can already upload leads to be able to pitch them. They cost you no credits. With Speaker QR, you can already create the QR codes that you want to use to get reviews and to do your free giveaways, right? So you can get reviews for podcasts, speaking gigs, whatever you want to use the QRs for, you can create your own QRs. But right next to it is Insight, part of our leads program, right? So any of those people, when you go out to reach out to them, you're not buying pitches from us. That don't cost you a pitch. That makes sense. Anything in this lead section is pitch free. You can follow up with your leads at no cost. Got it? But it'll be right here, and it's called Insight. It'll be right next to that. At the beginning in the beta, we will just give you the information in a spreadsheet while the tech team is still figuring out some of the tech. But we'll be able to give it to you in a spreadsheet or connect your Zapier or whatever system you want to send it to, right? But we'll get you those people, which is better than what you got right now. So I want to hear, why ain't they doing what yours doing? Baby steps. We'll get it there. We're going to get it there. What we got to get you is the leads, right? Sharon, good to see you. Juliana, I don't know if you want to add anything. You want to talk about speaker status? I think this is a good time to show people that.
Yeah, sure. Give me a second to pull it up. But yeah, we've been working on a great quiz. So that will help us an assessment for all speakers to help you know where you stand in your business and also provide next steps on what you can do to, yeah, keep leveling up and keep rolling your business. So let me share that in just a second.
So some of you saw this yesterday, but the feedback that we're getting from this will be used to develop future products, to develop future trainings, things of that sort. While she's waiting on that, oh, there it is. I'll let her go ahead.
There it is. Yes. Yeah, so it's basically a 5-minute test, only 21 questions, very easily answered, multiple choice. And you'll get one of these medals by the end of it. And either medal that you receive, you'll get actionable steps to get to the next one. So it really is a tool for knowing where you stand and what to do next. That's the purpose of this, not not judging, but it's more of a tool and as a roadmap for you to grow. So that's what we wanted to share with this. And you'll also get assessment on these categories. So it's not just a general assessment on your overall experience, but also knowing if you lean more towards virtual or on-site speaking and where you stand on sales and marketing. So it's we believe it's going to be a really helpful tool. And yeah, it's very quick. So we invite you to take it, just 5 minutes of your time.
Yeah, we need to change that where it
Where can
says
we find
answer
the
21
quiz?
questions.
Oh yeah.
We need to change that to 2021. But yeah,
Yep.
so what were you going to say, Ange? Okay, yeah. So the cool thing about that is that we get insight on kind of level setting. So sometimes we can, with the internet, we can feel inferior to other people. Oh man, they doing so much. Well, we can show you. We can just tell you overall, here's what people are doing. And you're probably above average in all of these categories. But because you're looking at you comparing yourself to Barack Obama, it's like, dude, it's hard to compete with him. He's the greatest black man in history. How do I compete with Barack Obama, right? You know? So you got to be able to like find out where you are so that you know what you need to improve. And the assessment only works if you're honest with it, right? So eventually, here's what the idea behind some of these different assessments and data collections is that organizers, as we move to our organizer phase in the second and third quarter of this year, they want reputable speakers. They don't want to be sending somebody $6,000 and the person get up there and don't have the goods. So we need a way to start verifying where you are as a speaker. But we didn't think it was fair or I didn't think it was fair because it's my decision. I didn't think it was fair to launch a speaker verification program without giving them the tools necessary to level up. Because you go through the verification and you end up with a 60 out of 100, we're not changing that for a year. Not in this thing. I'm talking about when we get into the verified thing, right? We're not going to update that until we can verify that you have gotten better. Our future system will look at your speeches, listen to them, hear you talk, look at your presentations. The AI will analyze that and give you back a certification. Does that make sense? So that now when the speaker comes, some people won't get the certification. But when the organizer comes in there looking for a certified DEI person, AI can tell whether Vivian knows what she's talking about better than I can. AI can tell whether Jadika is telling the truth or she's just making something up. But we know she's telling the truth, right? So we'll have the AI will verify those things and give her pointers about where she can improve so that she knows what it takes to keep helping more people. It ain't about SpeakerHub. It's about the audience. Is that fair, Kevin? So this is just the first step in us building the data we need. We started with reviews, then we go here to give you some instruction. The next step is how do we get this data in the hand of organizers so that they can pick the right speakers. Why? Because an elite speaker should get paid more than an emerging speaker, right? And if you're an elite speaker, but you're acting like an emerging, we should be able to tell you, hey, raise your prices, dude. You weigh way more than what you're giving yourself credit for. Got it? Any other questions, guys? 13 minutes into overtime. This has been good. We losing some people as they come and go, but that's cool. That's how it works. They got meetings. Anything else? Any other questions before we close it out? Vivian, hopefully this was helpful. I don't know if you knew about Speaker QR, but at least now you do. That was a new addition that we added in December. Oh, wait a minute. I think we got something else. Let me check. Coming to the stage is Frameworks. Just launched this morning. Speaker Frameworks is live as of today. I forgot. I got this email before, and I checked my WhatsApp. Speaker Frameworks is live now. So you can go in now, and we will help you with your speech outlines. We will help you with, if you're going on a podcast, tell you what topics you should cover for that podcast. It is live right now. Give you product suggestions. If you don't know what product to make and where to sell it, oh, let me do it. Y'all want to see a demo? This is bananas. So excited about this. I forgot Ezekiel sent me the text like, hey, he was apologizing because he thought he broke something. But Frameworks is now live. Watch this. I'm going to make you prop. This is going to explain what makes me special and how I can benefit event planners. Because a lot of times we don't know. So all I do is click this, and now this is my elevator pitch, right? Your voice deserves to be heard. I help you to get noticed by booking you on top podcasts, securing paid speaking gigs, and landing media coverage. I'm perfect for speakers, authors, and experts who want to shine. Build your brand and reach more people while earning from your talent. Let's amplify your voice and take your speaking career to new heights. Elevate your presence, grow your audience, maximize your impact. Right? Now, I don't like some of this. So I can come in here and delete that part because I would never say that. Boom. Now I got my elevator pitch. Does this make sense? Well, now when people listen to me and I'm on a podcast, well, what do I need to tell them? Well, here's the show notes for the podcast because I already know what I'm going to talk about when I'm on there. So here are the takeaways that I can make sure that I have a strong call to action. So when I'm on a podcast, I want to make sure that I'm covering these things. Is that fair? Is this cool or no? It's huge, right? Well, guess what? I gotta know what products I should be using. What products, based on what I do, could make a product, a podcast guest guidebook, do an online workshop, speaker branding toolkit, public speaking ebook, right? So now I got some ideas on how I can build out these products in my giveaways. But here's the one that's most important to me, the master framework. Your master framework, if you don't have one already, will go ahead and generate one for you so that you have something to go talk about. Guess what? They picked launch. Oh, this is incredible. What's the name of our product? Speaker Launch. That is the name of our master framework. And it had no idea. But let me show you. Let me show you why this is a big deal to us. Speaker Launch is the name of our framework. That's what we call it. And the AI had no idea, but there it is. Listen, analyze, unite, navigate, create, and highlight. Boom. I can teach that. Right? So that can be my master framework. But then how do I engage the audience? A lot of times we don't know how to get audience interaction. We don't want to be a professor in our speeches. We need to engage the audience. So we're going to give you some different things that you can do to engage your audience to get feedback while you're live. Right? So you don't show this to them, but this is what you're doing. Right? And you're talking to them about what you're going to help them through. And for those who are new and kind of struggling with discovering signature talk ideas, we believe in what? You can teach leadership, you can teach skill building, and you can teach how to make money. So guess what we teach you? What's your leadership talk? What's your skill building talk? And what's your how to grow this business talk? This will get you on any stage in the world. We should sell this shit for $500 a month, but we don't. Okay, I'm just being real with y'all. We should, but we're giving it to you for free. Everybody has this now. It's live on everybody's SpeakerHub Pro account. Ask your speaker coach. I bet he didn't give you any of this. He don't even know what prompts to use to get this. Right? This has been 6 months in development. Since July of this year, we started working on frameworks from an idea that we had last January. Freaking incredible. Dude. How cool is that, Janika? What you think? Bart? Incredible, right?
Yeah, in the very beginning, I said game changer. I'm running out of superlatives, so I'm gonna do my homework so I can come up with some cool analogies like you. But I think the best word is just not to say anything because that's how great it is.
No, it's incredible. And how's it going?
Sign me up.
Oh, you already got it.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I'm about to say, you already got it. You already in. You know?
I'm just kidding. I'm just talking to the people who not signed up yet. So
okay. All right. Just want to make sure. You know? Yeah, Frameworks is live, man. You know? So use it. We want to know your feedback.
Ron, we come in here, you drop another bomb on us. It's excellent day.
We're at work, man. We working over here. We're trying to make it better for you guys. We gotta be examples of what we teach, right?
Ron, you said something earlier, and I think I didn't realize. You said which framework, which is to suggest that we should have more than one framework. So this is very helpful.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
So what we show you there is the master framework that you could use, and then those other ones are sub frameworks, right? And then there's only 3 talks that have ever been given in history: how to be a better leader, how to improve a skill, how to make money. So we reframed your speeches into those 3 things. So you can go talk anywhere. Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, don't matter. Military, they need all of them, right? So no stage is immune to you, right? This frameworks thing, oh, dude, y'all have no idea, you know, how much I pay for that daggone domain name too. Good Lord. We got to sell some more accounts so I can get my domain name money back. Because I own like too many domain names. I be having to go file all these daggone trademarks.
I also think it's a cheat sheet, if you will, for people who are trying to discover what their products and services are and what they do. They know what they have, but they're trying to break that down. Like, okay, what do I have in terms of these products and services aside from speaking? I feel like that does it all for them.
Yeah, that's what that product what is, Bart. You know, the product framework gives you the different things. Let me go back, right? So, and you can edit and save these inside, but where's the one for products, right? So you can see right here, it says, hey, you can use the podcast guest book, but what if you don't like that? What if you're like, man, I don't like the ones that they suggested to me. I want some other ideas. So you can hit rewrite, and we're going to tell you it's going to cost you a pitch because we don't want people just in here doing their homework with our AI, but most of y'all got enough pitches to use. So I can rewrite it and get new ideas. Now, here's the cool thing about it. The next level of this, so there it is. Gave me 4 new ideas. The next level of this, which is what they're still working on, it's not ready yet. But when you go into booked and you book a podcast, where's Maria? Ah, she's at the dentist. Shoot. 1 second. I'm gonna show it to you. Me and Maria was just working on this week. I'm gonna show it to you anyway. She gonna be mad because it ain't ready. But this is what we get for our this is what you get for being one of our lifetime folks. All the casuals have left. We got all the lifetime and the ambassadors in here now. So let me show you this. Let me see. Frameworks. Boom. All right, here we go. All right. So what Maria does is Maria has to make every screen individually for our product. So as a designer, she goes out and every button click she designs out so that we can see where it is. If you look at this, you can see all the comments are up at the top because that's the first section of frameworks that you all just saw. So let me zoom in a bit here. Right? So the part of frameworks that you all have seen is, oh, y'all haven't seen this part because you already passed it. But what'll happen is that as you're going through the onboarding, when a new user signs up and they go through onboarding, we're going to show them their snapshot of their branding kit, but we're going to give them their frameworks right in the onboarding as a new user. Right? So because you all already have your accounts, you have to go into frameworks and open it up, but they get that. We show them that stuff right off the bat. Right? But here's the part that you've already seen. And I want to go to the magical part in the mailbox. So, yep, this is stuff that you all have already seen. All right, so let's go to the mailbox view. Let me stop making y'all dizzy. 1 second. I'm going to show you how it works in the mailbox, which is the coolest part. 1 second. Did she not? She took my access away? Shoot. I can't show it to you. She killed my access to that part because it's not ready yet. But basically what happens is on that when you get marked, once you mark an email as wait 1 second. Yeah, once you mark an email as booked or an outcome as booked, it will automatically give you the framework that works with that podcast. So let's say Bart goes on a leadership podcast. It's going to look at that podcast and its notes. Look at Bart and say, Bart, here's what we think this audience with the topics that will be right for that audience. When you book a certain association, it's going to say, here's what we think the topics will be for that association. Now, why is that important? Do you remember when AJ was telling you that once you start a conversation with folks, you got to personalize your speaker one sheet? You remember that? He said, hey, put some personal stuff in there to get the gig and to get the meeting. Once it's booked, now you got to start thinking about how do you reframe. Vivian was a great example of that today. She says, hey, I want to write for you all. I take you up on letting me write, but what do I write for your people? Do you remember that? That's what this solves. This is cheating. Like, this is, yeah. So 2 things that have happened in today. We released frameworks. We double the price for everybody else, which is good because that means we can help you out more. Yeah, we're close to, we got the bones in place for the new Speaker Hub, where we're going to be allowing y'all to sell your courses and do other things. It's really cool, dude. I wish I could show y'all everything. But as you can see, I don't even have access to everything. Maria didn't even give me access to my stuff. But we'll show it tomorrow. We'll preview it tomorrow when everybody's here. What are you going to say, Bart?
There's a question, obviously not for me, but people, I think now when you see the price going up for those people that are coming in and then that new frameworks thing, so do you just have in your system already, let's say tomorrow someone clicks on with the new price changes, is going to show the frameworks part?
Yeah, it's already included. Everything is already included.
I mean, will they see it demonstrated or whatever? Because when we first came, when you showed us how the Flywheel work, and you showed us everything for Black Friday and all that whole thing of what SpeakerHub Pro was, have you included that? Have you included the framework, I guess, to that sort of thing? So,
yeah. So that's the magic.
Because I thought you had two game changers. The whole SpeakerHub Pro was a game changer. Now you had this, so now it's double the game changer. To me, that's what
it is.
Yeah.
But you asked the question. So even though we raised the price, if you go through our training, the free webinar that we'll give you a discount. The issue is that there are a lot of people that are signing up that don't meet with us, don't go through the training, don't do anything. And we're like, no, we should just give them an incentive. So we will give them a discount code if they attend the webinar. The webinar is only 15 minutes. That's why I got on this shirt.
I don't care about the price going up because I'm on the other side of it. I'm just saying, as a selling point, unique selling point to me, that framework piece, in addition to the other piece, is definitely worth the price. They should be able to see that. That's
100%. Yeah, so that they get to try it out at the beginning. If you remember, as I said, when they sign up here, when they first go in during the trial, on the onboarding, when you remember going through this and picking your goals, Bart?
Right.
One extra page is right after we give you your bio, we give you your framework, the first one, just the master framework around the 3 talks that we talk about. So they get this going right in. So even if they're just starting off and they're not ready to build products and all of that, they get this going in to know what they should be talking about.
Yeah, incredible.
Right? This is in the first 5 minutes of them being inside the app. No prompting necessary. And then they just connect their email and go forward. So, but yeah, this is where it is, man. This is super duper duper exciting. I see we got Bruno Mars. He always makes a cameo appearance, every time. He hungry. And so am I. So I'm gonna get some lunch. I'm gonna let y'all get back to y'all day.